Popping out there in the YouTube world, man. What's going down? You already know what it is, man. It's gonna be a quick little live right here. I didn't even know they had free YouTube movies. Dang, son, there's a bunch of stuff I ain't never explored this. Teen Wolf. I need to watch that movie again. I need to watch Teen Wolf again, son. You know, my pineal vision is online. I need to watch that movie again. Let's see what it's about. I think I'm gonna check that out later, son. Teen Wolf 1. Let's see what's going on, son. You know, but they always got these movies where this serum or some juice always get into the human DNA, and then it just gives them these enhancing capabilities, man. I mean, y'all already know what that is in a nutshell. But yo, man, what's going on out there, man? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I already know what it is, man. It's gonna be a quick little live, real quick, man. Ain't trying to be on it like that. You know, a lot of y'all know I was on the mine wagon way back in the days. You know what I mean? But I've been off that wagon. Well, a lot of y'all probably, well, people who come to the channel now ain't gonna know, son, because you know, them archives is gone. I mean, them archives is gone, son. But you know what I mean? I used to be like, you know, you gotta have an open mind and all that. Because you got certain people out there, they got a closed mind. And a lot of reasons why people don't, you know, have no kind of advancement. It's because they got a closed mind. And I used to be like, yo, you need to have an open mind. See, I ain't the type of individual to keep the charade going when I was on a wagon. You know what I mean? That's one thing about me, son. When I'm on a wagon, and like I stated before, man, there's a bunch of wagons I'm on. But you know, these things got to come into the head. And I got to just, you know, analyze it, do a deep depth analyzation. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense, you know, speaking the language when I say sense, but if it makes sense, you know, I'm riding with it. If it's a bunch of BS, man, I'm doing a barrel roll off the wagon, and I'm gonna take my chances with the ground, and I'm gonna have my scratches, my cuts, and my bruises. It's gonna be my merit badges of honor for for not riding with the BS, son. You know what I mean? For not riding with the BS. But you know what I'm saying? I've been off that. I've been off the wagon of the mind, period. Cause I peeped what it was. Peep what it is. You know what I mean? I peep what the mind is, man. You know what I mean? Once you peep status, once it click, it ain't no unclicking, son. Once it click, it ain't no unclicking, son. You know what I mean? But, I've been off the wagon of the mind. That whole mind thing, son, that's for clones. And it's a substance that is necessary for governing chaotic energy. You know what I mean? Chaotic energy. Chaotic energy, not ultimately in the sense of this energy is destructive, but chaotic in the sense that this energy is not entirely conscious of itself or understand its purpose. So it would be better, if I govern this energy for a higher usage. You know what I mean? In that sense of the term chaos. You know what I mean? But the mind is something that is necessary when you want to get things done, son. You know what I'm saying? When you want to get things done. You know what I'm saying? But, for those who got the closed mind, those would just be the ones who reach the peak. You know what I mean? Because on this planet, you always going to have people who have an open mind and a closed mind. You know what I mean? That is, in a sense, represents another variation of positive and negative polarity. You know what I mean? You're always going to have people that's going to have a closed mind and a positive mind. People who are closed minded, you will hear certain people say things, oh, you so closed minded, you so negative. You know what I'm saying? And people who are open minded be like, "Yeah, you open minded, that's you positive, man. I like you, man. You open minded, you're real positive." You know what I'm saying? So you have, what I'm saying, people with the valve closed and people with the valve open. You got the positive and the negative, son. A closed mind and an open mind. But the ones with the closed mind will be the ones basically who cannot receive any more programs. You know what I mean? They maxed out. They maxed out with the programs, or there's such a seal on the mind that no new programs is allowed within the mind for their vehicle to simulate. You know what I'm saying? Because the vehicle, the vessel, the computer, it needs to be discarded. You know what I mean? You can look at it like technology, son. You have certain technological devices out there that have a closed mind. For instance, the specs that exist within the device have limitations, and it can only do certain computational tasks within those specs, terms, and conditions. Now, they can't put an updated program in it, which would be a consciousness in that device, only because the body or the specs are not capable of processing that type of algorithm. So you could look at that device that's unable to be updated by way of some type of firmware or software update as a device having a closed mind or a closed mind device. You know what I mean? But once upon a time, the mind was open for that device when it was receiving this periodically updates. You get it all the time with these cell phones. You hear it all the time with these cell phone holders or these electronic devices. They were like, well, we will support this device up until such and such time, but then there will come a point in time where we won't update these devices no more because where we're headed, the tech or the specs that's included in that device is going to be outdated, and it's not going to be able for us to get that vision out that we want to get. So, you rock that device, whether it's a TV, a phone, what I'm saying, a car, a computer, for that time being. And then it comes a point in time where, you just stop supporting that and you just let basically, what I'm saying, just let it keep looping. Let it keep looping them old programs until the user gets frustrated with the device and said, man, this device is so slow, it's always lagging. I can't really do nothing with this device, man. It's just, man, time for me to upgrade. Time for me to get a new phone or a new TV or a new computer, a new laptop. It's time for me to upgrade. Time for me to get a new body so I can get these new codes. You know what I mean? And simulate speed. You know what I'm saying? So when you're looking at those people with closed-minded people, that would be that. Closed-minded individuals are souls and spirits inside of vehicles that are outdated. They're outdated. See, but the way how is like, they play this trick on the people where they use technology to denote time. You ever notice that they correspond technology with time? Like, well, in the year 3000, we're going to have this kind of tech cars that levitate and be able to do this kind of surgery. And, the technological devices that we're going to be using is going to be so advanced in this time frame that we're in. They put technology and time hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that you should be paying attention to, son. But technology doesn't denote time, but it's something that you should be paying attention to when you're looking at these people who have a closed mind. Because when you're looking at people with closed-minded people, you're looking at people who have outdated tech. Or you're looking at souls and spirits, souls for the carbonated beings, spirits for the humans, or souls, spirits for everything else. You know what I mean? You're looking at these energy forces occupying outdated devices, outdated tech. You know what I mean? They utilizing outdated tech. So that's why when you look at closed-minded people, like if you ever really pay attention to, I mean, you're supposed to be paying attention to everything. But if you really pay attention to closed-minded people, you see that these people don't do anything that's like, whoa. And when I say whoa, I mean in a sense like that's some real powerful ish. You know what I'm saying? That person just did right there, or it's like they bringing something new to the table. That's like, damn. When you look at an outdated person, a closed-minded individual, your whoa is described as, why in the hell would you do that? You know what I'm saying? You be like, yo, why would you even do that? You be sitting there scratching the dandruff out your head, like, yo, man, what the freak? Like, are you serious, bro? Like, you couldn't see the outcome, bro, or you couldn't see what was gonna happen when you was trying to, you know what I'm saying, you do that willy on that banister. Like, you didn't see that you was gonna fall. They don't see, son. You know what I mean? They don't see, son. So it's like when you say whoa, it's not a whoa representation like holy cow. That's something amazing right there. And it's like something like they bringing something new to the table. It's like everything that closed minded people do is something that has already been done eons ago, son. They're not doing anything new, son. They, in other words, they looping. They constantly looping old programs. They looping old programs because their vehicles now, which is a biological computer, son. As I stated before in past videos, but you know y'all can't check them archives because the archives is gone. You know what I'm saying? But the vehicles that your soul, you the soul or your spirit use is it's a computer, son. You know, you got the carbon computer and you got the melanated computer, son. You know what I mean? But you know, it's outdated, son. They tech is outdated. They cells don't upgrade. It's just basically looping, running its course until it get discarded. You know what I'm saying? The closed-minded people. Now, when you look at the open-minded people, the open-minded people are the ones who can receive new programs because their vehicles is their vehicles is more updated than the closed-minded individual. You know what I mean? So they could process more program. And just because they could process more programs, it doesn't necessarily mean that they are better in the sense how they describe better down here. Because you know, the matrix definition is, you know, it's all twisted down here, son. You know what I mean? It's all twisted down here. The matrix definition, but they could process more programs because their tech, their vessels, allow them to store more data and simulate more programs. You know what I mean? Some of them are able to bypass certain programs and not get caught up in certain programs because their tech supersedes the program that was created. You have it where in this realm certain programs are created, you know, consciousness, ways of living, etc., is created to slow people down. You know what I mean? You have certain programs that's created to slow people down. And you can have somebody with an open mind that could scan that program and see, man, I could already see what that program is gonna do. It's gonna slow me down. Like my brain moves too fast. You know, my cells, my processing power is too fast for that program. I could already see that program is gonna stagnate me. It's gonna make me sluggish. I could look at the computers, the people that's running those programs right now and see, I could literally see my future by looking at them if I choose to run that program. You know what I'm saying? So they would be able to bypass that program. You know what I'm saying? But they would be downloading more programs with the open mind. You know what I'm saying? And when they get those programs in their mind, they would just constantly simulate those programs. It'd be like a new phone. You get the new phone, they constantly running updates. You know what I'm saying? They maximize and utilizing the specs. You know what I'm saying? They tweaking the system update, the software updates, the firmware updates. They tweaking, looking for ways to maximize the tech specifications to get optimal performance. That's what it is with these open-minded people. You know what I mean? They receive certain programs that they're not even creating. And the programs is just being installed in them to maximize the tech of the physical body. You know what I'm saying? To maximize the tech of the physical body. And then it will come a point in time where those who have the open mind will get the closed mind. They will be just because there will come a point in time when them programs that they was once downloading with the open mind, those programs that was high and almighty, they will come a point in time when them programs is obsolete. and programs will be obsolete, and then you will have it where once upon a time these people with the open minds was on top of their game. Now they would be looping those same programs. They would be looping those programs 20 years from now, like the ones who's looping the programs now. You know what I'm saying? Thinking about how it was popping back in that time frame. You know what I'm saying? They correspond technology with time, and the algorithms or the software, the consciousness that goes into these devices, tech based off specs, denotes the time frame as well. So if you got a vehicle and all your vehicles, see your vehicle, the real vehicles, carbonated beans, you always supposed to be upgrading your device, your tech. But you got a vehicle, let's put a human as an example. A human got a vehicle, let's say their vehicle could only stretch for like 50 years. They get like 50 years, not even 50, let's say 30 years. 30 years worth of optimal performance based on their tech. So now within that 30-year span, they've been getting these programs, these consciousness, which is all different algorithms, programs for your brain to simulate and your body animate. You know what I'm saying? Your brain simulate, body animate. You running these programs, you don't realize. Well, a human ain't supposed to realize. You know what I'm saying? They bots. You know what I'm saying? But they running these programs, and it's like the programs they running is giving them results based on their device tech, based in the time frame they're in, based on the algorithms that was coded in that time. Now, your vehicle is supposed to be optimal performance within a 30-year time frame. So they give you all the programs, you know what I'm saying, to maximize your device within 30 years. Now the 30 years pass. Your mind is now closed because you got caught up in the 30 years when what you were simulating was working so great. You wanted that tech time frame to last forever. Wow, I'm simulating this consciousness. I went to school, I got this program, I learned, I went to trade school, I downloaded this program, I learned this. Wow, everything is just moving so fast. Living in the fast life. I'm getting a lot of money, a lot of girls, my cars, my house, my family. Whoa, like, yo, this is amazing. I have an amazing life. Like, my life is amazing. I'm traveling the planet, going over here, going over there. Like, everything is just moving so fast. I take so much pride in my school, my degrees, my graduation, my diplomas. I take so much pride in that, which is nothing but programs. I take so much pride in those programs. Those programs is popping, son. Programs got me flourishing out here in the matrix, but they don't realize none of that. Programs got me flourishing in the matrix. I'm making it. 30 years past now. None of those, now all those programs you was once simulating is obsolete and slowly fading out of existence. You looking at, now you see the next wave coming in. They receiving all these new programs. Like how they say the old heads is, man, I'm going to just stick to my old ways and just keep doing this because this works. You don't realize, and is a reason why they synchronize technology with time. But you also have to focus on the algorithms, which is the software codes that they put in the tech to correspond with the time frame that you're living in. So now you want to simulate programs or a consciousness that was 30 years ago in a new time frame where that's being faded, where it's being faded out and non-existent, like a black and white TV. It's non-existent, like a black people watching things in 8K right now, and you over here getting up, turning the dial on your on your TV. You got people voice commanding television, talking about HBO. And you over there getting up, turning the knob on your TV with the pregnant back. All the space bubbles and antennas on top of the head, turning on channel 3, 4, 5, and you turning the knob to get a clear signal, and you over there messing with the antennas you done plugged in the back and all that. You know what I'm saying? You outdated. Your TV so outdated it doesn't even get certain channels. Because certain channels is coming in a signal that your TV can't even pick up. You know what I mean? You ain't even picking up the signals. But they correspond the tech with the year or the time frame that we're in, and the algorithms represent that as well, the software codes. So now you got the person who was living that beautiful life can't figure out, damn son, my life is slowly fading. Like I used to have it, you know what I'm saying? Have back in the days, I was getting all this money, I was getting a good job, I was getting all the girls, I had a whole bunch of friends, I had nice houses, cars, all of this. Like, how was all of this fading away? And they keep saying to themselves, man, I need to recapture that moment. I just want to recapture the moment. They go through the rest of their life saying, I want to recapture the moment. I want to get my second. You know how they stated in that movie, Stella got her groove back. You know what I mean? I want to recapture the moment. I need to get my groove back. You ain't gonna get the groove back, you know, because you don't understand what's going on. You don't understand that you are in a vehicle that is a computer and it's outdated. You know what I mean? It's outdated. You are in a outdated computer. It'd be like you applying for a job that's one of these major corporations that only use high-tech computers. They're using the most sophisticated processors, the most sophisticated software design. Like you want to be a damn 3D engineer artist, and they using the top 3D engineer software. The computer got the top specs. You got all these different commands, and you sitting up here trying to apply for the job with a Commodore mentality. You know the Commodores with the floppy disk, 512 kilobytes. These people is on terabytes. You know what I'm saying? They're dealing with terabytes of data, son, in seconds. You over here with 512 kilobytes, kilobits. You with a floppy disk. These people coming up in there with thumb drives, the size of a penny. They coming up in there with USB sticks the size of a penny that got like 15 terabytes worth of storage, and you up in there with a whole shoebox worth of floppy disks. you, you know what I'm saying? You with a whole shoebox worth of floppy disks, and all them floppy disks that you got don't even come up to 10 megabytes. You sitting up there, I gotta wait for this joint to load, downloading. Please remove disk 1 and insert floppy disk 2. Oh my God, you doing all of this. You know what I'm saying? These people is moving terabytes of data in seconds, son. You're going to be obsolete. You're going to slow up the progress. The boss is going to come over there with your Commodore mentality and say, what are you doing? You've been out here for 8 hours and you on the 7th floppy disk of 38. Man, what is this? Get this whole system out of here, man. We over here, we about this speed. We about fusing the tech with the time and the algorithms, man. You cannot process these codes in the sequence that we need to be processed. Your vehicle is outdated. You know, your vehicle is outdated. You know what I'm saying? And even and these closed-minded people, some of them would try to learn a new craft or a new trade. And they'll be like, yo, I just can't get it. I don't even understand this. That's because your tech wasn't designed. The specs that's in your tech. You got to understand your organs is specs. Your heart, your brain, your lungs, your kidneys, your blood cells, your muscles, your pancreas, liver, all of that is tech. That is tech that you're looking at. Never mind calling it organs. It's tech. And it has the ability to process certain codes on certain frequencies, man. So if your tech, your organs, your vessel is outdated, it's not going to be able to filter or process the new codes. It's not going to be able to do it, man. You know what I mean? So, but with the open mind people now, they could receive more programs. They could receive more programs. A key word of programming, and this is something that I picked up on, son, because y'all, people who familiar with the channel know that I was always on it. Like, yo, it's something about that mind, son. But I was always just curving it. But I'm like, it's something about that mind that just don't, it just don't vibe right with me, the soul. Like I'm getting this signal, but I was always curving it. But then I started paying attention. But one of the key phrases that is used when somebody is going to program you is you got to have an open mind. I was on the wagon of having an open mind. You know what I mean? But as I stated before, I've been off that wagon. But one of the key phrases they use is you got to have an open mind, because you could only be programmed or reprogrammed with an open mind. If your mind is closed, you cannot be programmed. You would only be running the programs that's already in your mind. You know what I mean? And if you go beyond the mind, not even having the mind, you will understand what the programs is. You will understand exactly what it is, sir. So when you hear these people say things like you gotta have an open mind, your spidey sense should go online. Your spidey sense should be on mine. You know what I mean? Your spidey sense should be on mine. Like, hold up, man. This motherfucker trying to program me. You know what I mean? Because that's what they do. These Jedi mind games they be doing out here in the Matrix, man. They doing a bunch of Jedi mind games in the Matrix, man. You know what I mean? So when they say you got an open mind, just know that there's certain corridors in the brain that decrease the certain octaves, or the not even the octaves, the frequencies of the brain, and it opens up. It's like your frontal lobe opens up and allows for new programs to come in. You know what I mean? Because when these people are having an open mind, they're not even really screening what's going in the mind. They're not really screening. You know what I mean? They doing artificial screens, which is they just basically accepting what's being said based upon how someone worded the program when they was programming them to begin with. You know what I mean? They could make artificial senses on your senses and say things like, doesn't that make sense? You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Yo, you got to understand how these programs work, man. You got to understand how these programs work. So the ones with the closed mind and the open mind, those are the ones who's running programs, can't run programs no more. And those are the ones who are waiting to be installed with new programs, which ain't even really new. But they just waiting to be installed with new programs, and they want to simulate, and they're going to be simulating those new programs until the programs or the algorithms get too lack of a better word, complicated for their specs to simulate. You know what I mean? For their specs to simulate, son. So you gotta, that's why I'm like, you gotta be able to go beyond the mind. You gotta go beyond the mind. You know what I'm saying? Beyond the mind. Once it click, it ain't no unclicking, son. Once it click, there is no unclicking. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things click once it click. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about being in a right state of mind, because that's a polarity of mind control. It ain't about being in a left state of mind. That's a polarity of mind control. It ain't about being in an all state of mind. That's polarities of mind control. It's about being beyond the mind. Now you can see how mind control is. And mind control is something that is needed. I already know people are going to be looking at or hearing this and going to be like, yo, mind control is bad or it's evil. Y'all still in mind control. Looking at if you still looking at things as good or evil, you still in mind control. You still in mind control, man. You know what I mean? You in the polarity of mind control. You know what I'm saying? Once you understand what it is, once it click, you know what I'm saying? There is no unclicking, son. Everything would make sense. Everything would make sense. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Man, you getting notifications, man. You know how YouTube be. You know how YouTube be, man. I mean, I already know how YouTube be, man. When you see them big numbers behind channels, you already know what it is. You know what I mean? Heavy mind control. You already know, man. These people say men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Hell yeah, numbers lie. Numbers are programmed in the matrix by the same ones who lie. How numbers ain't gonna lie and they programmed by the same men and the women who do lie? You know what I mean? Ain't like numbers is coming from the sky. You know what I'm saying? They coming from the same ones who do lie, which is the men and the women. That's why people say things like the stock market is rigged. Whenever you hear them talking about something is rigged, that's a code word for lie. You know what I'm saying? When you hear about computers is rigged, the computer is lying. You know what I mean? It's a lie, son. But you know that's all based in positive and the negative polarity, son. It's how the system is, man. It's how it is, son. But the open mind and the closed mind, you know, that's it in a nutshell, man. You know what I mean? You got the outdated and you got the predated. Those that's waiting to be programmed and they gonna simulate, have a great time when they simulating those codes. But there's gonna come a point in time when they can't simulate codes and you know they're gonna be like, you know how these cats is now calling out the youngs. You know, trying to diss the youngs. But when they was young ones, they wasn't trying to hear the elders. Some of the elders woke up and like, yo, man, the timeline you on, bruh, you gonna end up like me. You know what I'm saying? The youngin looking like, man, hell no, I ain't gonna end up like you. Because the youngin is in the fast life. Everything is coming so fast. He like, I would never end up like you. You know what I'm saying? Because he's looking at this because he didn't see the timeline before. He don't understand the pattern. You know what I'm saying? He don't understand that it's a pattern that he's in, son. You know what I'm saying? He's totally judging it based on the present time that he's in and the past that the elder was in. But he don't know that the foundation that both of them was on a pattern. They was all in a pattern algorithm, son. You know what I mean? The algorithm was based in a pattern and they following the glitch. So the young dude look at it like, man, I'm getting it right now. I'm living, man. Like, how am I end up like you? Why am I listening to you? You know how they got the mentality. Why am I listening to you? You broke. You ain't got no money. You can't tell me nothing. Why would I take your advice? He been through the program. You're looking at the finish line if you pay attention. But you know, see one thing about those algorithms, when you downloading those programs, they don't have an algorithm in there for you to pay attention. There's no program in there for you to pay attention. It's programs in there for you to just simulate. Just simulate. Don't even ask no questions. Just go with the flow. Go with the program. They on programs out here. In other words, these people is on programs. They all on programs. They all on programs. They on a gangster program. They on a drug dealing program. They on a police brutality program. They on a blood crip program. They on alcohol program. They on a cigarette program. They on, violating the kids program. They all on programs. You know what I'm saying? They on a Black Lives Matter program. They on marching programs. They on Black Power program. Those are all programs. They on religious programs. You know what I'm saying? They all on programs. Those are all programs you're looking at. So that's not even really people in the sense how they try to identify people out here. You're looking at programs. When you see when you see so-called people moving through this realm, you're looking at programs. You're not really looking at people. You're looking at programs. Programs interacting with each other, even if a program clash with each other, that's how the program was programmed to function. You know what I mean? That's how it was programmed to function. So you're looking at programs. They all on programs. You're looking at people scamming people out here. That's a program. Just think about it. You could only have a scammer if somebody has been programmed to be caught up in the scam. You can't have one without the other. If there's a scammer, then you're gonna have to have a victim, and that victim who claims that they was a victim of a scam, you were simulating a program. Every step that you took while you was being uh, um, manipulated by this scammer was programmed. It was an algorithm. It was a program that you were simulating. But they don't understand that. They don't. Like the carbonated beans, man. Y'all really need to tell y'all sons and y'all daughters what the mind is. The hell with preparing them for the matrix. Break down to them what the mind is, and everything else will click. You ain't got to prepare them for the matrix. Just tell them and make sure they know what the mind is, and then they will be able to see what the matrix is. They'll be able to see it once they understand what the mind is. You know what I'm saying? It's not some powerful device like how they try to make it seem. You know what I'm saying? Out here in the matrix, it is a energy force that deals with programs. You know what I mean? It's over the head, and it deals with program. It's like one of them astronaut helmets that these astronauts be using, like a bubble over the head. You know what I mean? And it deals with programs. It pull programs in that your brain can't pull in, and it convert those signals into recognizable vibrations that the brain now can see. You know what I'm saying? Look at it like like sound. You have certain sound frequencies out there that exist that you can't hear. You know what I'm saying? Because the frequencies that your ears, your antennas vibrate on can't pick up those frequencies of a 200,000 hertz or 17,000 hertz or 280,000 hertz. It can't pick up those vibes. You know what I'm saying? But you could replicate those vibrations and play it in a recognizable vibration to give people an idea of what that sounds like. You know what I'm saying? That's what the mind does. The mind pulls in signals that the brain wouldn't normally recognize, and and the mind is there because your pineal gland is offline. You know what I mean? The mind is there because your pineal gland is offline. If your pineal gland is vibrating and it's online, These people be talking about how the pineal gland is calcified. That's nonsense. I already debunked that. Ain't no way in hell you're gonna have a calcified gland in your brain and still be alive. See, that's how you know these people are on programs. Because when you're on a program, you're not thinking. How could you have a hard gland in your brain? That would cause an infection. You know how much the brain vibrates? The brain vibrates too much to have anything in it calcify. Calcification means that it's hard. You see stages of calcification in what they call ashy skin. Your skin is a gland. When your skin becomes calcified, it's ashy. What happens when the corners of your fingers in your hand get ashy? You scratch that, you start seeing flakes. That's dead skin. Look at the scratching as a vibration. Because that's what scratching is, vibrating, friction. Your brain vibrates. Your brain is not just sitting still. Your brain is vibrating. As I stated before, your heart is vibrating. It's not beating, it's vibrating. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a calcified gland in your brain, which means hard, and it's supposed to be moist. You know what I'm saying? It's hard now, and your brain is just constantly vibrating, and this gland is calcified. Come on, man. Does that even make any sense, man? But see, that's what happens when you on program. You simulate. You don't identify the obvious, huh? You know what I mean? Your pineal gland was never calcified. It was just under power, meaning it was using a electric pulse instead of an etheric pulse. It's supposed to be using ether energy. That's what separates you from the humans. You about that ether energy, that high soul energy, that real energy. And when your pineal gland is online, there is no putting a magnetic, energetic field around your head known as a mind. There is no putting no magnetic electric field around your head known as a mind when your pineal gland is on. You know what I mean? Because the high energy of the ether, or you could even look at the sun, keeps magnetic energy in check. It keeps it at bay. Ain't no magnetic energy up on the damn sun, B. You know what I mean? That magnetic energy ain't coming to the sun, B. Straight up. Beyond magnetism. Which is a black hole and all that. I already spoke about that in past videos, but check them archives. But yo, let me get up out here, man. This chat starting to get loud. This chat starting to get long. I already know what it is, man. It's all about raising the vibe, raise the vibe, man. You know what I'm saying? But you got to go beyond the mind. You got to go beyond the mind. This ain't for everybody, son. This ain't for the clones. The clones, they ain't gonna get it. They gonna keep simulating their programs so they can't simulate no more. And they just gonna look at tech fly them by. You know what I mean? They just gonna be looking at tech flying them by, like saying I can't simulate that program. Your tech is outdated, son. You don't understand what your physical body is. It's tech. You don't understand that all of the parts that's inside of your body is specs. It's specs. It's all specs. Your brain is based off specs. Your heart is based off specs. Your lungs, your kidneys, your muscles, liver, pancreas, tissue, bones, eyes, tongue, all of that is all based on specs. You know what I mean? It's all specs. Specs, specs, specs. You have it where the carbonated beans specs could naturally upgrade We don't have it where we reach a certain age and then that's that. That's for the clones. I mean, it ain't obvious. Doesn't it make sense that a clone reaches a ceiling and then that's it? Clones only max out. They the ones who reach ceilings. Once they reach that ceiling, that's it. Now they have to reproduce a new clone. We, on the other hand, we keep going till the casket dip. Why you think I'm gonna use music as an example? You got artists out there that's like in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. That's like singers and jazz players. You know, they all into all different kinds of music, son. And they still making great music. You know what I'm saying? Because they constantly updating. And the only reason why all of those music genres is still ongoing because it is secretly being fueled by carbonated beans. Even though they might advertise the humans at the forefront, trust the humans watching. They watch the real and duplicate. You know what I mean? They watch and duplicate, son. You know what I'm saying? And that's just an example of how you constantly update. You could constantly update. There is the only way you could not update is if you choose to not update. If you come up under the spell of belief. You know what I'm saying? Then you restrict yourself, you restrict your cells from updating because it's a natural process for you to update. It's natural. See, the clones, they artificially update. They update comes by way of the matrix. Whatever's going on in the news, everybody talk about now. Everybody talking about on YouTube. Whatever happened in such and such city, everybody talking about it. You know, so you don't know that these people don't never talk about nothing other than what's going on in the matrix that has been televised on the news. You don't see how they tether in the clones. That's what clones do. They tether, man. They tether. You know what I'm saying? They tether. So they don't really update. Not realistically speaking. You know what I'm saying? They need a hub to update them, son. You know what I mean? We, on the other hand, the carbonated beans, we got the natural update. We could get the natural updates from the sun. Natural updates from the sun. Naturally, son. Never mind being in the sun, getting vitamin D. You need to be getting them updates. You know what I'm saying? You need to be getting them constant updates because the higher beings knows. The hell was saying God knows. The higher being knows that the God race is lagging. They lagging like dollops, son. In a broadband world, son. They in a world where you got high speed Fios internet, son, and these people still here with the AOL disc in the computer, sitting up there hitting the dial-up button, telling everybody, "Yo, don't call me. You're gonna make me lose my connection." You know what I mean? They still seeing the static man running on the screen with the AOL. They waiting for that triangle to light up so they could be like, "Yes, I'm on AOL online." You know what I'm saying? They lagging right now, B. Lagging, son. You know what I'm saying? They lagging behind. You look at some of these people, man, look like they about to go slay a dragon, son. Some of the members of the guard race look like they about to go in a dungeon and slay a dragon, son. You just got shields on, swords. Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Looking like they're about to go slay a dragon, like they're about to go into the enchanted forest and just slay the beast. They got their spell book. They about to call out some spells and have some witches come out of a portal and just hit these people with some light. Like, yo, man, they looking like some Final Fantasy characters, man. Like they running with Cloud. Yo, they looking like Final Fantasy about this mug, son. Oh, babe. You telling me that those people ain't running the old program, son? You know what I'm saying? And they keep looping. You know what I'm saying? You pay attention, you see that they looping. So it's something that I stated before. When these people talk, they not independently talking. They're pressing play. Their voice box. They don't have an independent vocal cords. You know what I'm saying? They have a voice box that was based on something that was pre-recorded. When they speak, they not independently speaking. They are pressing play and playing back recorded data. That's what they doing, man. They playing back recorded data. If you listen to how these people talk, you can see that they talking in a bot sequence. They playing back recorded data. How do you know? They go into the book. The book is recorded data. They bots. You know what I'm saying? But then again, they rocked you to sleep because, they told you that, dinosaur age and technology, like this is the most highest sophisticated technology that ever existed with cell phones and TVs. And, you know what I'm saying? You looking at it like, man, how in the hell could, these people be bots when these people ain't really perfect robots yet? The man is not the definitive representation of creation, son. When man, when human and human finally create something, that's something that has been in existence for hundreds of billions of years already, son. It was already here, son. You looking at a crazy lag. You know what I'm saying? If you was able to see the entire timelines, you would know that the tech that we using right now, man, this tech is whack, son. It's whack. This tech is whack, son. This tech is not sophisticated as you think it is, man. You only think it is because you comparing it to stones and sticks. Because you assume stones and sticks was the first technology, son. They told you that stones, sticks, and bricks, you know what I'm saying, and getting a candle and getting a damn mirror and reflecting the light was how we used to throw light. They told you that was tech. So when you looking at a light bulb and you comparing it to a candle, you looking at it like, man, that candle, that technology is whack, man. The light bulb is what it is. No, that the candle, that ain't the tech. Sticks and the stones, that's not tech that we came from, son. The sticks and the stones is the tech that the animals came from. When you're looking at the animals with all fur, the last generational animals, that's the tech they used. When you're looking at sticks and stones, you're looking at tech that the animals use. You're looking at these beavers building dams. They build it with sticks. That's tech they use. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at ants, make ant hills and ant farms of the dirt, that's tech they use, the insects. You know what I'm saying? They told you that was the tech, like, you want to call us Africans and say we was making these mud huts and all this stuff and all this and all that, saying that's where we came from. We didn't come from that. They showed you tech that was used by insects and animals. And you took that as a high representation of technology. So now when you look at a flat screen TV or you look at a car, you know what I'm saying? You look at an airplane, You looking at it like, wow, this tech right here is superior to a stone, a stick, or a damn boat made of leaves, and we sitting up there leafing through the boat, leafing through the valley in a boat. You looking at it like, man, these people got a Lamborghini boat go 500 miles an hour on water, and these people over here rowing boats with palm leaves. You looking at like tech like that. Nah. That was tech for the animals, man. That wasn't tech for us. Our tech is thought. You know what I'm saying? Our superior tech is thought. That's our superior tech. Thought. We make things happen with a thought when we are in a soul state. You don't need no gun, none of that. Thought, we could think it. We could think a hole and open in space and swallow you. Straight up. That's the tech that we have. That's the power we have. We have the power to command all elements. When you have the power to command all elements, you have the power to command all particles. When you have the power to command all particles, you can make all the microscopic particles that you can't see do whatever you tell them to do. That's the tech the gods have. We didn't need no UFO flying in no metallic spaceship. We don't need that. Why we need to be traveling through space when we could teleport? Why would God need to be traveling, taking, even if it takes 4, 5, 6, 7 light years, whatever speed differentiations or speed terms they trying to use to make it seem like this object is moving fast? Teleport. You know what I'm saying? We could do so much things. The art of teleport, we could teleport and do so many things before the damn second tick on the nanosecond clock. You ever look at the clock and you see how the seconds the dial gets smaller and smaller and smaller? You look at the nanosecond and you see how fast a nanosecond move. We could teleport, build an entire solar system before that needle tick 1 nanosecond. Because when you are out of time, you do things that's beyond time. You know what I mean? Our tech deals with beyond time. If you look at all of their tech that they use, they needed time to transpire in order for the tech to be developed so they could recreate it or manifest it into an object. In other words, the animals needed a tree to grow in order to use the damn branch as tech. They needed to wait hundreds of thousands or thousands of years for a rock to be developed in order to be used to use that tech. How is that superior, son? You sitting around waiting for something to happen is superior, son? Man, come on, see, that's why I say, man, people, they don't understand God, man. People, man, they souls is nowhere near God, son. They don't understand how the gods move, man. They way beyond, man. They beyond what you could fathom, son. They way be beings of beyond. Beings of beyond is always beyond. They always beyond. They beyond time. They beyond everything, son. You know what I mean? So you just know that, this tech that they showing you down here, man, this ain't no superior tech, man. This ain't no different than sticks and stones. You know what I mean? Even when they talk about all the stuff that's on all these other planets, where they talk about Mars and spaceships and even using crystals and all this and all that, talking about, well, they used to power the whole planet with crystals. The planet is still being powered by crystals. This planet never stopped being powered by the crystals that's in the planet. The power is coming from the sun. You know what I mean? It's not even so much being powered by the crystals. The energy is relaying through the crystals, charging the crystals. And the power is coming up from the crystals, from the sun. Sun interacting with the crystals, crystals relaying that energy throughout the whole planet. still using crystals. But that's not superior. Yeah, that's not superior tech. Take that sun out. Take the light off of the sun. Let that sun go into close that space, that portal. Let the sun close that portal and see how powerful Earth really is. Let that sun close the portal and no sunlight hits this planet. You see, you will see what this planet really looks like, huh? It's always dark here, the spirit world, lunar dimensions, huh? You know what I mean? It's always dark, son. This planet does not have its own indigenous light source. Like I stated before, this artificial days that we experience in artificial tropical areas. It ain't real tropical areas. Artificial summer. You know what I mean? The only season on this planet, man. You already know what it is, man. What does winter represent? Okay, that's the only season on this planet, son. If it wasn't for that sun, it won't be none of this out here, son. That oversoul. But yo, man, I'm about to get up out of here, man. I already know what it is, man, about raising that vibe, raise the vibe, raise the vibe. And remember, they all on programs out here, son. They all on programs.